In this video, we're going to look at a couple more options for the cat command, and we're going to introduce the sort command. So for the cat command, we're going to look at the A and the N option. And for the sort command, we're actually going to focus on something called delimiters. Okay, we're going to look at some additions to the cat command. We've already looked at the cat command in a previous chapter, but just a couple interesting things that the cat command can do. And so if you look into my directory, I have a folder in my playground directory called text processing, and there's a cat folder in there. And inside of there, I have two files, which is foo1 and foo2. And if we just look at those files, foo1 first, you can see that it just has this sentence here, but it looks like it has some spacing before here. And then if we take a look at number 2, you can see that we have the sentence here, and then we have a line, and then another sentence here. So I just want to show you a couple things with the cat command. First, we go cat, and we do A, and we do that on foo1.txt. And we come back, you can see that it's showing where our characters are. So, for example, not the characters of the text necessarily, but like this is a new line character here, and this right here is a tab. And so it's kind of showing us just where the kind of hidden characters of our files are located. And that can be helpful sometimes when you're trying to see, like, for example, in this one, you can see we have a bunch of empty space here, so this could be trimmed. Let's take a look at another one, and that is cat and s, and we'll look at that for foo2.txt. And you can see all it really does is it just numbers the lines. So that's all we're going to look at with the cat command, just some extra stuff. Let's take a look at using the sort command. So I have a folder here called sort that's inside my text processing, and inside that folder I have some files that I'm going to be using to help us look at sort. But first what I'm going to do is just run off a command line. So I'm going to start with du, which is for disk usage, and I'm going to just write the path to where it is on the server. And we're just going to run it. Let's just get the first few. Okay. All right. So we have this right here. This is for disk usage, and you can see here's the files, and here's how much disk usage they have. And now what I want to do is I want to sort that, and I want to sort it by the number right here, and I want to do it in reverse order. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of write the same thing I just had, except I want to take that and I'm going to pipe it into sort, and then I'm going to do NR. N is for numeric, and then the R is for reverse. Put a space in there, and we'll still do it on the head. And when we do that, you can see that it's now sorting by the highest number first and going down. And because it sorted this by the number, you can see it's a different list for the first 10. Than it showed up here, because this is just listed them here. It was actually sorting them, so that worked out pretty good. And that's just a simple sort, basically on the numerics if it has numerics in it. All right, so let's look at something a little bit more complicated. So now I'm going to do sort, and I have this file that I created called distros.txt. And if I first look at it, so let's first look at the file before I sort it. So if I cat it and I do distros.txt, you can see it's just some names here. It's got some numbers and some dates. And so first we want to just do a simple sort on that. And when I do that, it does a pretty good job. It has the names first in sorted order, and then it's got the distribution numbers, okay, and the dates, all right, that they were released. So these are different Linux distributions, by the way. So the problem that we have is this one right here, because you can see it's 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it doesn't understand this 0. It basically thinks that's a 1. Okay, so it's a little confused. So what we're going to do is we're going to straighten that out. And the other thing that we have to take note of is these spaces right here are tabs. Okay, and so understanding that, sort by default will sort things on the tabs, and they put them in specific columns. So this is column 1, this is column 2, and this is column 3, and that's going to be very important when we actually go through this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write sort, and then I'm going to do K, and the first one's going to be first column and end at the first column. So that's what 1 comma 1 does. It's basically going to sort this first. Okay. Then I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do K, and I'm going to 2N. So it's going to be the second column, but I want to sort specifically on these numbers. It's going to help out a little bit and let it understand what it needs to do. And then we're going to go ahead and get our distros file again. And when we enter that, you can see that now it's been corrected. See how it was wrong here, it's now been corrected here. And it was just, once again, looking at the tab delimiters, which is done by default, and we basically grabbed the first column, and we did 1 to 1, so start it and stop it on the first column, and then the second column, just do the numbers. So that's pretty much how that worked. Now I want to look at sorting on another type of delimiter. So by default it does tabs, but if I show you this file right here called delimiter, you can see that I don't have any tabs in them, but instead I have these colons. And these colons are kind of dividing up the columns, right? So we got these numbers here, and then we got the X's, and then some more numbers, and this is a blank one, and path name. So I can actually use this as a delimiter. And what I want to do is I want to sort on this field right here. I call it a field, but it's a column. So I want to, it's going from 2186 to 2217. So I want to sort on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go sort, and then I'm going to do -T, and in single or double quotes, I'm going to put in my delimiter. So I'm going to be now sorting on that colon as being a column. And then I'm going to do K3, and I'm going to do R for reverse, okay, and then my file name. And when I do that, you can see that it now starts at 2218. See, when here it ended at 2218, and it goes all the way down to 2186. So there I was able to do a reverse sort. Now I want to show you just one more, that we also have a unique command. Let me clear my screen. But you can do unique with sort, and so it kind of does the same thing. So I'm going to cat my letters.txt file. You can see I have these letters, and I have a bunch of duplicated letters in there. Well, I can basically do sort, use the U for the unique command, and pull my file up, and there it took them, and it gave me only the unique ones, the ones that were not repeating. To summarize, we took a look at the cat options. We looked at the A option, which showed us like new line characters and tabs and stuff like that. And then we looked at the N option, which would number our sentences. So there are a couple extra options we looked at with the cat command. And then the sort command, we realized that we could sort based upon delimiters, which ended up being kind of powerful because we could use the default delimiter of the tab, or we could actually have a delimiter, say in the example we have was a colon. And basically what sort will allow us to do with a K option is allow us to break our text up into what's known as delimiters. And as long as they have the same consistent delimiter, we kind of have what's known as columns of information, and we can actually sort on specific columns, which is pretty powerful.